All right. Um, so you guys have some kids with you. You guys are with Arena still. You guys made it pretty uneventful from the now defunct, or at least smoldering windmill at the top of the mountain overlooking the valley, which you guys now find yourself in. You guys headed down the mountain without any issue. When you guys got to the gates of Valaki, there were some rather gory, graphic werewolf heads on pikes at the entrance, and some guards that were a little lackadaisical, if you will, but also sort of, happy with the decorations that they saw outside. They also started to sort of unload a considerable amount of rules and laws on you guys, which are all posted in the Discord. I would read through them at some point for sure. And then most of them having to do with, it's illegal to be unhappy to a certain extent. It's illegal to say Strahd. It's illegal to start fights and things you'd expect, and then some things you wouldn't expect. And there's a bunch of punishments and things laid out in that physical copy that they give you to take. So also with that, they say that you are required to basically register with the guard, and that opens you up for searches at any point in time, as well as a weapon registry, basically. So you get to keep your weapons, but they just want to know of everything that you have, and they want to get a name and occupation and a place of origin from everyone. So for the sake of time, and to not necessarily role play much here where we left off in the kind of awkward middle here, why don't all of you in the Discord, I will post the I'll post in the Eve chat the questions for the registry, and then tell or hide. Let me see. Hide orphans. So if you guys can all just type out what you give them, just kind of consider it like a filling out paperwork sort of moment where they allow you some time to kind of read through. If you have any questions, you can of course ask them. There was a sense of, they kind of had this, there was a guard that was approaching as you guys were at the gate. Arena had mentioned to them as well who she was, and they seemed to probably know who she was just by her last name. They did mention the children, and kind of looked up and made a comment about them off shot, but that didn't go anywhere more than that. Yeah, entry date, don't worry about. Place of origin. Everything else, just give me a and it'll basically let me know if you're going to hide weapons or not. So if you're going to try and get something past them, or just tell them about everything that you have.
What was the name of the other town we just came from?
You guys came from Barovia.
Are you doing Discord or in
Yeah,
game?
it's all on the D&D Discord. All the questions are there, and
How do you line break in Discord without hitting enter?
Can you do shift return, shift enter?
Oh.
So let's say that Grim, or not Grim, Vimrak, you sort of place over your papers initially. They kind of size you up a bit, take a look at your papers. They take a look at your weapons that you've listed, and they're confident in that. Says you're looking for work and of the mercenary occupation. They make a comment that there are quite a few shops in Valaki. However, none of them they're aware are hiring, but there are some brothers that do work out of they can be found at the Blue Water Inn consistently that do hunt for a living, and they kind of say based on your build, or maybe it looks like you've seen some, you know your way around a weapon, that they might be someone that you can talk to if you're looking for kind of hunting work. And they kind of look left and right and say, most of these werewolves were captured by them, and I can get you a name here, which they would know if you care to have it.
Sure.
For Toto, they look up your information. They kind of just don't have too much to say. The way to find out, need to find a way out of this land. They just kind of chuckle, possibly around that time that they read that, but they kind of stamp the paper and then hand it back after making notes on their end. They do the same for you as well, Siri. I'm sorry, Vimrak. The brothers. They mentioned that they're not much of talkers, but they're effective at what they do. They're called the Kurskin brothers. Says that they should stand out pretty easily, as they are pretty grungy and very outdoorsy kind of loner types, but they typically drink at the Blue Water Inn most nights after work, and they live in town as well. Sterling, they mentioned kind of the same things to you as well, and no issues hiding weapons, and then just observer here. Arena has nothing to hide. Not hiding. They look up at you, observer, and they're quite intrigued by you just in general, and kind of mention like not seeing many of your type around here. I mean, no disrespect, but if you're looking for life cycle things, there is an apothecary and other types in town, but I'm not sure exactly if we'd be much help. But as long as everyone's on board for attending the festivals, Valaki's always looking for strong and healthy individuals to add to the town's value, if you will. Just follow our rules and just be aware that you are being watched. And does anyone have any questions?
Who runs the town?
The town is run by Baron Vargas Valakovich. He is the Burgermeister. I fucking hate that word so much. It's only that I called it one thing my entire life of hearing it, and then to know it's said a different way now, I just can't break it. So he is the mayor, if you will, of Valaki, and they say that he has brought continued and uninterrupted peace to these lands, free of the devil himself. And they say that with some actual confidence. They seem to be sort of believing that. And yes, they do make a comment about the children. Arena looks up and asks and confirms if there is a church in town. And one of the guards does confirm that there is a church in town, St. Andrew's Church, at the sort of other end of town at the west side, he mentions. And then the guards now kind of fully take notice of the children and make a comment to mostly Arena, like, they don't seem like they're your children. And she looks up and just says, no, they're children will be found on the road, and they're in need of of a better place to stay. I'm afraid that we aren't really in a situation to, to take on the caring for of 3 kids. And the other guard who had not spoken of the church, he mentions that there is an orphanage in town named after the same saint, and it kind of points out where that's at as well. And so it seems like there's a place that you guys could possibly drop off or find a better place for the kids in general. So any other questions or any other comments for the guards?
Where can we get a bite to eat for the those that get hungry in our group?
There are many stands and stalls throughout town that sell certain provisions. However, there is a number of stores, and there's also the main Blue Water Inn that services mostly as a traveling or a visiting place to find food. The other guard kind of perks up and says, like, yeah, the Blue Water has the best food in town from anything you'd have to buy.
And can you let us know where that is?
Yeah, he mentions that it is near the center of town. If you head down the main road, which he points at directly from you, he says if you follow that it's almost to the exact center of town, you'll see the sign on the right. And it's right here. You guys are on the map, I forget. So the church is here, and he says the Blue Water is here.
Do you have any merchants that might be able to assist with hunting for werewolves or general mercenary work?
Yes, he says that there is a number. So there's one major shop in town for arms and armament. It's called Thimdall's Armaments, and he points it out as being actually right next to. Wait, what is that? Oh, yeah, right next to the Blue Water Inn. So this building here. He says there's a grumpy old man that works there, but he services most of the weapons for the guard. And if you're looking to get something repaired or fixed, you can check there. But makes a comment that there isn't necessarily going to be a huge selection if you're looking for something fancy, as he kind of glances over what you guys are currently holding.
Time is it right now?
I do not remember at all. I think it was around noon when you guys were in the tower, and I want to say it was another pretty good amount of hours getting maybe an hour or 2 down the mountain. So let's just say it's about like 2:30 p.m. I'm gonna take this phone call really quick. Be right back.
We should drop those kids off first.
All right, I'm back. Any other questions for the guards?
Oh.
Yeah, is there any place where we can dispose of these children?
Dispose of, yes. He mentioned earlier there's an orphanage in town, and let Arena know
Thank you.
about that location, which I actually don't know where it's at on the map. But yeah, I can find a spot for it. Anything else? Without
Did we
any
get our
response.
papers?
Yeah, you guys all have your papers back. They're all stamped, and they all took note of basically your weapons, and they kind of made a quick copy of all of your guys' information as it was written. So the large iron gate looks very efficient overall, is opened, and you guys are allowed to walk through, kind of see Obviously you can see the gate itself, but this is a much larger city than what any of you guys are used to so far in this land. So I'll read a quick description of just kind of the general feel for Valaki. So as you enter, you see a variety of structures, small houses made of rough wooden planks, and larger buildings with wide wooden support beams bordering whitewashed clay. These once pristine white walls are now yellow with age and neglect. The wood stain of the support beams has crept onto them like decay across a rotten tooth. Many of the larger buildings have their second floors jutting out to the sides, creating an overhang above the cobbled streets below, and some even have wooden balconies and banisters. Many of these overhangs have pieces of string and weathered strips of paper and cloth dangling from them, the sad remnants of hastily removed decorations from weeks or even months before. In the gutters along the streets, you notice more discarded decorations, torn streamers, sodden pamphlets, and forlorn banners that read, "All will be well," in rough streaks of red paint. Valaki's citizens hurry past you as you enter, with their gazes averted most of the time, looking down at their feet or staring straight ahead. They seem tense and disinclined to engage in small talk. Everyone seems to be in a hurry from one place to the next, busy with one thing or another. The only people not in a rush are the town militia. These men and women patrol the streets in pairs, it seems, uniformed and armed with clubs as well as swords. They squint their eyes with you at suspicion, as they would not recognize you at this point. As they pass, their hands resting on their clubs as if at any moment you may perform an act deserving of a beating. A surprising amount of these patrols cross your path as you make your way into the town and look about. The cobbled streets are bordered with stretches of low-cut grass, but where there are open spaces between the houses, the grass has grown wide and free and easily reaches up to your knees. These open spaces allow you to see all the way to the wooden palisades encircling the town. Sporadic clusters of trees stand amidst the tall patches of grass. Buildings crowd the streets on either side, their overhangs looming over you as you walk. Valaki is clearly much larger than Barovia, many times the size of a town. You're now in a town rather than a village. You walk past a wide street that branches to the left. We'll stop there just because it's describing things you guys haven't necessarily got to yet. So just the general kind of feel for this. Obviously the map kind of displays it as well, but you're in a full-blown town at this point. Many people walking about. The same sort of kind of feeling you got in Barovia from those that live here, but there is maybe a little more of a sense of security for sure, just because there's a physical wall and it doesn't look like there's any marks of recent attacks or any kind of looming threat. Not having Strahd's actual castle visible from your doorstep is also a nice plus in this town, it would seem. So you guys are free to do as you like at this point. I've mentioned the orphanage. If you have any questions of other locations here, you can try and talk to someone or do what you'd like.
I think first thing, like Krim had said, Toto had said, was to drop off the kids and then figure it out.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Arena agrees as well. She's kind of in a hurry, you would say, to kind of get these kids in a better situation than they've been in the last who knows how long. So she did hear from the guards of the location of the orphanage. It was actually just right down the street here from on the path. So it seems as if you guys would just kind of head straight for a bit, maybe a third of the way into town. It's the larger building on your right. And someone can, I think you guys have access to move that token if you guys want to.
Who's moving it?
I'll move it. Consider the description that was given, kind of just what you're seeing as you're kind of walking through town here. I will stop you at this first little crossroads here to your left, so to your south, if you will. A large stockyard has several locked sheds along its periphery and lies adjacent to a roomy warehouse. A wooden sign above the front gate reads, Asrick's Stockyard. Parked at the south end of the stockyard is a sturdy carnival wagon, its colorful paint peeling off, faded lettering on its sides spells out the words Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. A heavy padlock secures the back door. So most of what you see as you're entering here are just going to be residential homes. The first major thing you see is this large stockyard to the south, which encompasses sort of this entire area that you see. It's got almost like a place where it looks like there's a store front. Once you enter, doesn't look super used, but there's also mostly like think of it kind of like a tow yard or something where a lot of people are storing things here, or they have sheds they can rent out or things like that.
Interesting.
As you guys get to this point, it looks like there's probably a town center down this way. You see a lot more bustle of people down there, and the orphanage is here. So you guys have arrived there. Let's move you here. Let me know if you see anything abnormal, if you will, while you're here. I just made this map, so everything looks fine.
We can see inside.
There are windows, which is fine. I just want to make sure there wasn't like any
See
gaping.
some legs right there.
Yeah. You know, there's some legs.
Yeah, is this supposed to be a window?
There's kids. That's a door. There's kids' legs stuck in the.
It's like I can
door.
see in here. I can see in here, and
Oh,
I
you're
can
fine.
see this whole room. Oh,
Those
actually, yeah, I
are-
can see everyone inside there.
The windows are fine. The description of this building, it's a 2 to 3 story building from what you can tell, maybe an attic at the very top. It's pretty well maintained for its size. Still the same sort of age, if you will, of the other buildings in the area. But as you approach, pretty well manicured front area, and you can kind of hear, even from this point, kids laughing and kind of running around inside. You can hear motion and just a lot of movement from this point. As you guys kind of approach with Arena kind of or one of you's carrying, I think Vimrak is typically carrying one, and then Arena's kind of holding one, and then maybe Toto has one as well. But as you guys are moving through, the kids kind of perk up as they sort of hear the sound of other children for the first time in this ordeal. They're definitely interested. So you guys can do what you'd like.
I'll go up and knock on the door.
Okay. There's no response, but it sounds very occupied. Across the top, there's a well-written sign that says, I don't know why, that says St. Andrew's Orphanage, and then under it is a note of the head master, and it says her name is Claudia. And it looks like she's probably been the headmaster for a while, as it seems the sign that the wood is sort of written in is pretty old overall. But with your knock, there's no immediate response. There's definitely movement and play happening, though.
Is the door open? Can I open it?
Yes, the door's unlocked. Yep.
I'll walk in and look around and see if there's anything of note.
Yeah. So when you first walk in, let me see. The front hallway is wood paneled and dimly lit. The wooden floors are old and worn, and the steps of many staircases sag with age. In front of you to the right, a pile of children's shoes lay at the western wall, which is to your left. You can hear kids playing in the room to your left, and then this door on your right has a actual padlock on it. These other two don't, or this one and this one do not. And you can hear some muffled speaking, and then maybe some movement to the door on the right as well. But to your left, it sounds like there's kids reading, there's kids playing games, knocking over furniture, just sort of running around and being kids.
I mean, I saw adults through that window, I think, so I'm gonna knock on the door to my east.
Okay. You, as my dogs hear a door knock as well. You hear a older woman kind of call out and just 1 moment. And you hear some shuffling back and forth, and then the door opens up. There's a little girl that kind of looks up at you, and then kind of scurries around as she goes into the hallway and kind of goes into this main room here, and kind of disappears around out of sight. Observer and Toto, roll perception checks. An older woman approaches you as you guys roll those as well.
Just before Toto went in, I'm just going to say I don't want to scan any more people today. I'm going to stay outside.
Okay.
Oh. No, don't do that.
Observer, as the girl kind of runs by in the hallway, Toto, you realize this as well. Her demeanor overall did not seem that she was scared or intimidated, but you do notice some bruising along the back of her arm, on both sides of her arm, as she kind of leaves the room and then goes into this door through the west. So both of you kind of notice that in as you're doing so. Toto, probably in your case, more of just a general concern for human life. Observer, for you, more of an obsession with life cycles. You're just kind of always looking at organic things and kind of noticing things about them. But the woman that approaches, she does have a smile on her face. She just looks up and just says, "Hello, I'm Claudia. I run this orphanage. Can I be of any assistance? Is there a problem?" As she's kind of noticing what you're wearing, and now there's two of you in her orphanage all of a sudden.
And I'll smile and say, no problem. We have been traveling through this land and found some children without their parents, and we were hoping, this being an orphanage and all, this might be a safer place for these children than traveling with us.
Yes, she kind of a saddened face comes over her, as she's probably mostly hoping that people are going to take kids as opposed to drop them off. But she had a paper in her hand that she was maybe reading from or writing on, and she kind of puts it in her pocket and kind of goes to the window and peeks outside. She can see presumably Arena and the kids outside, and notices the rest of the group, and kind of approaches the door fully and just says, "You guys travel large, I see. Is it 3 kids you found? May I ask at least where they're from? So if there's any parents or guardians in the future, we always take newcomers, but just like to gather as much information as we can about them. Do you mind coming in and taking a seat as we just kind of process this, if you will?"
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Do you know of a way to allow tokens to not grid snap? I know
I don't know.
it was alt. I hate it so much.
Shift.
But
If you drag them and then hold shift and then release,
thank God,
they kind of go. It's not perfect, but it's maybe
so much. Wait.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
It's a little weird.
Okay.
But it works.
So she pulls out a new thing of paper. She will go out the door and kind of beckon Arena to come in, which she will. in Arena, and then if there's other kids, I think Vimrak, if you had one as well, you can kind of drop them off at the door. Arena is just kind of talking them with them and just kind of explaining like, hey, like this will be where you guys stay for now, and if anything, they seem happy for those that are watching. In Arena, you can hear her in the background just being as motherly as she can as she tries to comfort these kids into a better place. Than where you found them. So she brings out a new kind of a booklet. It has a lot of pages missing. It seems like she's done this process quite a few times. And she goes, I don't want to waste much of your time. As you can expect, I'm rather busy here. And kind of as she says that, you hear like, more things falling over and things being rustled around in the room next door. But she goes, if any information you can give me is great. And if you know if the children have been hurt or injured at any point in time, we just like to know as much as we can for their physical and mental health going over. We have plenty of beds. This orphanage is set up to accommodate more than we have. That's no problem. But, just as anything you can tell us is, or anything you can tell me is better than not.
We found them locked in cages in a windmill between here and Barovia.
Okay. She starts taking notes, and you can kind of, her face is obviously, she's taken aback a bit, but she makes a comment under her breath as she's kind of writing this out in this very like formal sort of paperwork that she has. And she goes, well, not the greatest, but unfortunately not the worst story I've heard of. Okay, and do you have any idea of their ages? You guys can...
I give my estimate of their ages.
I don't know why I asked that.
I wouldn't know. Come on.
Somewhere between the age of 5 and 15, I would wager.
So funny. She goes, thank you, and are they eating, or have they eaten anything?
They were pretty malnourished, right?
Yeah, in the cages.
I think they were being kept more as livestock than people, so I think they probably could use a few meals. I don't think they've eaten well lately.
And then she also asks, do you know if anyone would be looking for them or possibly coming after them? Do you know if their parents are still alive? I
think their parents might have either been tricked or willingly gave them up to a trio of unsavory ladies.
She looks up at you with that comment and she says, this wouldn't happen to be were meat pies involved?
Yes.
Or some type of pastry?
Yes, there was a kitchen with lots of meat pies being prepared in the windmill.
She's now very interested and pulls out, or kind of moves over in maybe a notebook or a journal that she had on the table previously, and drops it down and just asks for like the best description that you can give, which I assume you give her. She goes, this is interesting. In all my years of being here, I've always heard of run-ins with these women. They tend to have changed appearances here and there over time, but you say that you've killed them, or you believe that you've maybe stopped their industry, if you will?
We've definitely slowed them down a bit. I doubt we've stopped them.
Okay. She looks a bit
We've
concerned.
At least inconvenienced them.
Gotcha. She just makes a comment like, I hope that inconvenience doesn't follow them here, but I appreciate the work you've done. Just in that case, you've potentially done a lot of good for my line of work here. She kind of looks up and she just says, anything else you can tell me or anything else you'd like to know, they will be taken care of here. We always accept donations, as we have. She says at this point we had like 23 children, with the additional brings us to 26, but the city does a decent job with funding us and keeping us going. So
I'm looking at something real quick.
What's that, Observer?
I do have a question. And the child we saw earlier appeared to be damaged. Is there anything we should be wary of around here, or anything that's dangerous?
Roll.
That'd be a
Probably
insight.
Yeah, roll an insight check just for her response. She looks up, she holds a straight face, and she says, "Well, there's always issues in raising kids, but no, I mean they will be taken care of as well as they have been in this town for this orphanage has stood in my family mostly for hundreds of years at this point. So I appreciate the concern. It's always good to learn of a fellow child lover, but no, there's no nothing abnormal when outside of raising kids, and you get the feeling that she's not telling the whole truth. There's a bit of fear, if you will, in her voice as opposed to deception necessarily.
The child lover comment, I'll look incredibly perplexed with my unmoving face.
She just kind of smiles and is like, "Great. Well, again, not to keep either of you here longer than need be. You guys can kind of see Arena is kind of checking the room with a look of like, are we good to go?" I assume she gets that look.
I'll lean in and
go ahead
and tell her we've dealt with many monsters already. If there is a problem, you can let us know.
She...
Persuasion check?
Yeah, roll persuasion. She goes, if anything comes up, I assure you, I have no problem reaching out, but from what we've found here, or what we've discussed so far, I don't see any reason why I would need that. Are you guys staying in town for a while, or have you been in town for a while? Where could I find you if I needed to?
Just got here, but we may end up at a nearby inn if we intend to stay the night.
Do you know any reputable places we could stay?
Outside of asking citizens, which you'd probably never have a chance, as we don't take too kindly to outsiders typically here. The Blue Water is the nicest of the locations for travelers here by far.
Okay, thank you. I guess
Yeah.
good chance we'll be at the Blue Water then.
Okay.
I dig around in the bag of holding and get 100 gold in a pouch and give it to her and say, for the trouble, I know we just dumped a bunch of kids on you, so hopefully this helps you take care of everybody.
I'm sorry, what did you give her?
100 gold. We've got like
Okay, perfect.
3,100, so I figure it's not a terrible amount.
She looks, her eyes are very wide, and she goes, "Oh, this is amazingly generous of you. Thank you so much." And she takes it and kind of opens up the drawer and has like a coin purse in there that seems relatively empty, that she drops the coin in. "Yes, please, and feel free to visit any time if you like to see the development of the kids. If you've grown fond of them or just care to check, please don't be strangers. You know where we are." Vimrak and Royce, what are you guys up to this whole time? You guys are just hanging out, chit-chatting?
Yep.
Just
taking in like the surroundings, not really, just kind of standing there.
Sure. The two of you kind of, shooting the shit. You're taking notice of the building and everything else around you. Over time, without really requiring a check, if you will, you do notice that the second floor window that would be directly above this door here, on the building that you're outside of now. The second floor window has been shattered, and it looks as though it's been sort of haphazardly, maybe wooded up with just some like scrap wood, in kind of a very quick, haphazard way. So just take note of that. The others probably wouldn't have seen it right away as they walked in. So Claudia kind of gets up and she just sort of kind of escorts you out. She says, feel free to look in the common room if you will, which is the door open here. You see a plethora of kids playing there. Observer, if you go in there, or you don't even have to, it says this seems to be the orphanage's main living area, featuring an old couch, a few mismatched stuffed chairs, chests crammed with worn toys, and 2 small dining tables surrounded by chairs. 3 young girls crowd around a dollhouse in the south of the room. An older boy paces the room with a toddler on each hip as he tries to soothe them. Another boy and girl are playing a game of tag and chase each other around the furniture. An older girl sits on the couch and reads aloud to 4 more gathered toddlers. The room is a den of chaos and noise. I didn't want to put all of them in here because the tokens I have take up a lot of space, but basically a lot going on. You do notice too that it seems to be like kids taking care of kids. There doesn't seem to be any other adult help that you've seen so far.
Is
In here.
the child that we saw earlier in here?
You see. Oh yes, she is. Let's say that she is this child here. She is over, kind of to the south here, and let's see, she was listening to the story.
Now, approach, not intimidatingly,
Okay.
and ask her, "Hello there. How did you get those bruises?"
Roll a persuasion check.
Fail again.
She looks at you sort of just a bit confused and just says, What bruises?"
Can I see them?
Yeah, they're on the back of her arms.
I'll kind of raise my arm and point to the back, and I'd like the same spot that she's got the bruises.
Okay. She kind of like holds an arm up and like tries to see. We think this girl's maybe like 8, so she's kind of like almost like a game, you know. She's like, and she probably really can't see them, but she's like, I don't know. I have bruises. I don't know what they're from. Maybe from tag or playing outside. I mean, there's a lot of toys out here, but you know the backyard is full of, you know, places to fall. Maybe that's where it's from.
Oh, do you like it here?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had a family, obviously, but it's not bad. And there's a lot of people to play with, and you know, if you get into a fight with someone, you know, there's always someone else to hang out with. So, I mean, I do miss some friends, but and she kind of stops there with like a kind of a hard stop in her thought process as she says, like, I do miss some friends, but she continues and she goes, there's always more coming. It seems like you guys have dropped off 3 kids. They seem like they've seen some bad stuff. Maybe, you know, they could help us and we can help them.
Yeah, I hope so. Do the other kids get adopted often, or?
She just kind of shakes her head. She's like, not really. Most families here aren't really in a position, I guess, to do it. At least that's what mistress, or what do they call her? They call her
Headmaster.
Yes, headmaster. That's what headmaster says. Headmistress, yikes. But maybe she's just saying that to be nice. Either way, it's pretty rare. Maybe a couple times a year someone leaves in a positive way.
Is that where your friends went?
Oh, no. No, we lost someone more recently, but it was an accident. Uh, he was my friend for a long time here, but he's dead. Like, she kind of thinks for like maybe a better word to say than dead, but it's like too young or just doesn't realize the harshness of
What
it, I guess
happened?
you could say. Uh, nobody really knows, and headmaster says that it's not good to speak of bad things, but he fell out of the window upstairs a couple weeks ago. And he didn't make it. The town, she said, tried to help him, but he never came back once they picked him up and took him. It was really scary, and no one really saw it. Well, some say they did, but they all should have been sleeping. But we all heard it for the most part. I mean, we all sleep upstairs, so and the window's still broken. But hopefully they fix that soon, because it makes me sad when I see it.
Who said they saw it?
Um, she mentions, she points to one of the girls, and she points to this girl over here, who is um, playing with just some random toys, or let's say she's the one that's holding the two toddlers. She points to her. She points to her and she goes, "Well, Missy saw it, but she's always known for making stuff up. Like, she always is lying. Like, sometimes I don't even know if she even tells us her real name sometimes."
Thank you, human child. I won't take any more of your time.
She goes, "Okay, have a good one." Toto
Oh,
and everyone else, you guys are fine, just hanging out.
I'm listening, but I'm also deeply awkward around this many kids.
Okay.
Like
Arena
I have no
Arena
problem
will.
going after zombies, but this house full of kids has me no clue what to do. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I got the kids here.
Arena kind of looks up and whispers. The door to Claudia's office was shut as she kind of, bids you goodbye. Arena's like, "Are we looking for something more? Am I missing something?" She kind of whispers to you.
Um, where'd Robot Boy go?
You
Oh,
see,
he's up there. Okay.
yeah, he's in here.
Um, I might go peek upstairs real quick just to take a look at that window and see if there's
Okay.
anything suspicious.
Okay, I'll drag you here.
Whee!
Do you respond to Arena?
I told her that. That's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
She goes, "Okay, sure, I'll go with you." Indeed, I'll say most of these rooms are open. That one's closed, and that one's closed, and that one's closed. So let me see here.
And mostly I just kind of want to look around and investigate to see if there's like obviously there's a boarded up and broken window in front of me that I can see now, but I guess what I'm looking for is if there's any like I'm looking at the floor, I'm looking at the doors to see if there's any signs of anything like weird happening, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm trying to find
So roll
yeah.
roll an investigation check, and then I'll read the description here. So the second floor hallway has 6 different doors, most of which are left open completely. Only the single door to the north end of the hall is closed shut. There's also a hatch in the ceiling at the southern end of the room. The hallway's only window on the southern wall is broken and has been boarded up recently, it seems. You investigate the window. Kind of, it looks very poorly redone. It looks like someone with very little sort of handyman skills, if you will, has attempted to just kind of make this as least drafty as possible. It looks like there's even like pieces of like old broom or old, just kind of wood you'd find laying around, old bed frames and stuff. So it's not been professionally done by any means. In every other room, you see rooms full of children. They seem to possibly be roll perception check. They you get the idea that they're probably sorted by age. So you see, like, this room here is mostly maybe younger males, and the other room is older males, and vice versa. So you kind of get the feeling that some of the smaller rooms are for the older kids. Those being these kids right here seem to be the oldest girls. These two are older than anyone you've seen down below. And we'll just call these older boys because I only have so many tokens, and I was running out of time. But yeah, they notice you kind of looking at the window, and if you're kind of watching them, they just keep to their own business. There is a girl in the hallway. She's just playing with a little, like, a paper airplane that she made, throwing it up and down the stairs at this point. Now that you guys are kind of out of the way, and she, just kind of smiles and says hello and leaves it at that. So yeah, the window itself just looks like it was repaired pretty quickly, or just poorly overall.
Okay, but I don't notice any other, like... I'm assuming I don't notice anything else. Just like, oh, that's a crappy window fix job.
Yep.
Okay. I'll turn back to Arena and say, aside from being a really bad fix job, I don't see anything up here, and I don't want to scare all these kids. I don't know why a kid would jump out a window, but weird things have happened back home.
Does seem odd. And she kind of mentions, like, well, maybe a place this bad, if I guess they're tormented enough, who knows, but it just breaks my heart. I hope they don't have any further issues like that. You guys just head down the stairs.
Yeah, I'll tell her, like, I think where we're gonna end up going, this is better than wherever we'll end up, probably.
Yeah, she agrees for sure, and you guys kind of head back down the stairs. Observer, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
So I was going to talk to the child. Was it Missy?
Yeah, Misty. Misty. Missy's fine. Missy's fine.
All right. Well, I will approach Missy and say, "Hello there, human child. I heard that you
Go ahead.
saw one of the children fall out the window. Can you tell me what happened?"
Well, am I in trouble?
No.
Oh, you sure? Because people keep asking me this, and I only said I saw something because, honestly, because I just wanted to be cool. But I mean, I heard stuff. To be honest, I didn't really see anything. It was at night, but my room is close to the window. Like,
can you tell me what you did here?
I mean, I heard a loud crash with the window, and I heard, I guess maybe, oh man, what's his name? Sorry, give me 1 second. I heard Cedric fall. I heard him yell, like, as he was falling, I think, but maybe it was another boy. I heard it's hard to tell when you're sleeping, but that's really it. I mean, there's always movement in this house, so we're all pretty heavy sleepers, I think. Plus, the babies are at the end of the hallway, and they're always making noise. So, yeah, I mean, it's really sad. I didn't talk to Cedric much, but I know others did, and they're really sad he's gone. I mean, I am too, but as she's like talking, she kind of rattles off as, like, one of the babies that she's holding, she's like tries to just shush and, like, calm it down as it starts to get, like, a little antsy in her hands. She's like, sorry, I don't, I hope that helps.
Has it happened more than once, or is this the first time this has happened?
Oh no one's fallen out of a window before here, not at least as far as I know, and I've been here a long time.
And I want to do insight check just to see if she's been telling the truth.
Okay.
Wow.
As much as you can trust a kid, you trust the kid.
And did anyone else see what may have happened?
Not that I heard of. Like I said, everyone was sleeping, but yeah, I mean, we've all asked and heard the rumors, but I don't think anyone else. I don't think anyone actually saw anything.
Can you tell me about the rumors?
Well, I mean, some people are blaming the new kid, but I don't I don't think that's fair because we've all been the new kid before, and everyone gets in trouble, um, at some point. But I don't know. I feel like I'm in trouble. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know who it was. I'm just sad, you know?
Yeah, yeah. What was the new kid's name at the time?
Oh, it's Felix. His name's Felix. He's always been a bit odd, but I mean, he wouldn't hurt one of us. I mean, yeah, he wouldn't hurt anybody.
Do you know where Felix is?
I haven't seen him in a couple days. I don't know. Um, Sometimes kids go and stay with other families for a bit, to see if the family, like, I guess, wants us. So maybe he's there, or sometimes the older kids, which he's older, ish. Sometimes they go and like work, or they don't just stay in the house all day. So maybe he's out doing something. I mean, Valaki's a really big town, so I don't think he's here, but I don't think he's been adopted or actually gone. So maybe he'll come back. I assume he will.
Okay. If he does come back, can you tell someone to let us know? We'll probably be at the Blue Water Inn.
Yeah, she's like, well, how would I tell somebody? Why don't you just? I mean, can't you come check? I mean, we like talking to new people anyway, and I don't know where the blue. Oh, I do know where the Blue Water Inn is, but I can't leave and just leave, you know. So, I mean, if he does come back, like, you could talk to him and you could just come visit.
I will attempt to. Thank you, human child.
Uh, you're welcome, uh, human man. You are a human, right? She kind of says that as you're like walking away.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's cool. Toto, I just saw you move in. Did you want to add anything?
I was just kind of I was listening and didn't really come up with much to do.
Okay.
Again, the number of children in here is like kind of weird for me. I haven't been around
Yeah.
kids in a long time. So I'm just not really sure what to do with them. Like, I'm more worried that talking to them, I'll just scare the crap out of them than
Just
anything
scare
else.
them. Before you, like, as you guys go out, Arena was listening as well. She kind of looks up and sees the window from this point. Kind of looks on the ground and now sees there's like some shiny, probably glass shards and stuff, kind of at the place, like right where you're standing, Toto. And you can kind of see where there's been sort of a cleanup, if you will, of some extent here. Arena whispers to kind of both of you as you leave, like, did you guys notice the other bruises and scars on some of those kids in there? Like, now that you mentioned it, I kind of peeked around, and a lot of them seem to have some type of minor abrasions or at least bruising.
did. The child that I talked to didn't seem to know how it came to be.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about maybe what we've done here. Maybe, I mean, she's like, I'm not sure what you guys plan to do, but I appreciate you getting me here. I don't plan on sticking around forever, and once we get to the church, I think that's probably the safest place for me, and I can try and kind of build a new life here. If you guys want me to tag along in the future or going forward, I'm certain I can, depending on what I find to do here. But I'll make sure that myself, at least, comes and checks on these kids and the 3 that we dropped off, at least every couple days, because I do get a bit of a weird feeling about the whole situation.
Yeah, I may come back at some point. Investigate further. There is a child that may have some more information. If you see one named Felix, come let us know.
Okay, yeah, I will do. Great. Well, I'll be honest, it feels good. And she kind of walks down the path here, like, feels good to not have that burden, and hopefully you've gotten them in a better place overall. So she kind of looks up and goes, I'll stick with you guys to see where you guys end up, but if it's not an issue with you guys, I would like to try and establish myself here, which I know you guys aren't doing. So maybe if you guys are going to stay at the Blue Water, I can check in here and there, or see where I can go from here.
Sounds good. I'm gonna continue towards the Blue Water.
Okay.
Everyone's good with that?
Yep.
Good. Yep.
I realize that how did I manage to do that? Tackle navigation. Let me see. I'll get you guys all on here. Alright, we'll just assume Arena is with you guys as well. Let's go to the Blue Water. Alright, so gray smoke issues from the chimney of this large two-story wooden building with a stone foundation and sagging roof tile roof, upon which several ravens are perched. A painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance depicts a blue waterfall. Inside, you guys can hear the commotion of probably like early dinner starting. There's quite a few patrons inside, it would seem. Do you guys have unrestricted vision here?
Yeah. Yeah, we can see everything.
God damn it. I hate it. That's so annoying. I'll fix you, observer. I don't know why. Alright, fuck it. Alright, is that better for everybody? Cool.
Yep.
Let me see.
I can no longer see all the things that I never saw.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Don't want him. Alright. Cool. You guys are free to move about now.
I'm gonna go into the inn unless anybody else wants to do anything.
Damp cloaks hang from pegs in the entrance of this large tap room. The tavern is packed with tables and chairs, with narrow paths meandering between them. The bar stretches along one wall under a balcony that can be reached by a wooden staircase that hugs the north wall. Another balcony overhangs an entrance to the east. All the windows are fitted with thick shutters and crossbars, lanterns hanging above the bar and resting on the tables bathe the room in dull orange light and cast shadows upon the walls, most of which are adorned with wolf heads mounted on wooden plaques. So to the north, you have a group of women that are kind of eating at a larger table that's empty. Other than that, you have two kind of noble types that are sitting at this table here to the north, closer to you. A single woman is eating by herself, and then to the north, there's two men eating at tables alone. Well, we'll do one more, a table of two, and then we'll do a single individual at a table as well. Everyone seems to have a beer or an ale or a wine in front of them, if you will. And there's a woman behind the bar who is kind of hurriedly, making orders or just barkeeping back there. And you can see like 2 to 3 large wine barrels behind the bar itself. So just to give an idea, this is an interesting room, and the description is kind of I don't know if it does it justice. So right above you, you can see into the second floor above. So to the west, if you will, this dotted line that runs here, that is a balcony that hangs. So the bar table is under that. Above that is a set of rooms, you'd assume, which you can reach from the staircase here or the staircase that's outside. And then if you go outside, for example, from where you're standing here, you're under a structure as well. That's what these dotted lines are here, and these posts. So there's rooms above you as well. So when you're inside the bar, or the tavern, if you will, who did I lose? Lost a token somewhere. I lost Royce. There he is. When you're right here, and you look up to the west, you see like a balcony with doors, and then to your east, right above you, you see a balcony with doors as well. So there's quite a few rooms above this building as well. As you enter, the woman behind the bar kind of perks up and just says, welcome, take a seat or have a seat at the bar. Dinner's coming out soon, so hope you're hungry. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be right with you. Wherever you want to sit's fine.
I will gesture at the table that we are all right next to.
Perfect. You guys take a seat. You hear her call the same woman kind of from maybe the kitchen or the back area, and just says, like, wine for everyone. Is that fine?
I do not need wine.
So, mead if you have it.
She's like, we're running low on the nicest stuff, but the Wizard of Wine stocks this land with the best stuff he's got. So it's just wine, no mead, unfortunately. And is it just 3 of them then?
Is Arena here? Or did she leave?
Arena's here as well. She's at the table. I just didn't want to grab her token. So 4. Arena's going to drink. She's had a fun week.
Yeah, sure. I'll take some wine.
All right. So she's gone for a bit. You guys can kind of scope out the room. Again, no one's really approached or done anything abnormal. Most people are kind of eating or getting ready to, and it's still kind of early evening here. Starting to get dark outside. So after a couple moments, she grabs some glasses behind the bar coming from the kitchen. In the kitchen, you see a child or 2 kind of scurrying around, and then a man as well working back there. She pours 4 glasses from the barrel that's closest to her as she's kind of heading down the bar, and then returns over to the table and is like, here you go. Happy to have some additional guests. Any food for you guys tonight, or did you guys need a room? I don't recognize you. Can I help you with any other business?
Are there any rooms that we can use?
Yes, we do have rooms available. For a party of your size, we do have a room with 4 beds, and then you could maybe rent an additional room if you want to. We also have 2 double rooms that have 2 beds each, so we can split those up as you wish. If you've never stayed here before, which I don't think I recognize any of you, she goes, there's an outside staircase that can access all of the rooms as well, so you don't have to come through the tap room if you'd like to leave or go as you please. And depending on how long you're in town, we have individual nights or more long-term rentals as well. But I assure you, it's the nicest and best place to stay in Valaki outside of owning your own home. And even then, it's fresh cooked meals down here, and a lively tap room is always something that's nice to have close. She kind of smiles as she says it.
Well, I'd love to take a moment and enjoy our wine and then maybe get back to you on what kind of accommodations exactly we're looking for.
Sure, no pressure. Take your time. I just know that we've got openings and you guys look well traveled. No offense. But yeah, just holler at me if you need anything or wave me down. My husband's here as well. My name's Danica and my husband is Erwin. So let us know if you need anything, and if you want any food. We've got a stew tonight, and it's not werewolf stew, despite what the locals will tell you.
So what now?
Ugh.
I guess you guys eat.
No, I mean, we've had nothing but adventure since we all came together as a group. Those cultists back in whatever that name of the town was. And now we have to deal with some masquerading vampire.
Doesn't sound like there's gonna be too many that'll help us get out of here. Seems we may just have to slay it and then hope for the best.
I think we need to figure out a little bit more about this. I kind of look around and say, you know who. I'm not sure if we just roll up to the castle, if that's going to be the best possible solution. If it was that simple,
Have
I
you
think...
shared?
Huh?
At this point, have you shared the page you got, the book or whatever?
Oh, I said I had it. I don't know, did you guys read it, or do you want me to read it out? I can...
I think I read it, but I don't know if we all actually read it. I think we could probably at this point say that we've read it here.
Yeah, so this dude showed up. Actually, I think I read this a long time ago, but I haven't read it recently.
I can read it out loud if you guys want, or someone else can read it out loud.
Let's see here. I'm just skimming it. I'm not sure. This is an old story about this guy, but I'll like pass the book around and let everybody read it. Like, I'm not trying to hide it. It's just we haven't had a moment to sit. So yeah, I'll pass it around so everybody can read it, but
Did all of you guys get that prompt for the text?
Yeah.
Okay.
He seems like a real happy guy.
Can I get a gold count for like average player gold? Just because I want to make sure I'm enticing you guys with things to buy, but also things to save for. And I've been pretty lackadaisical with throwing out money.
The party has
Traditionally, this.
$3,000 right now in raw gold.
Okay.
I got 61 on me.
I have 74.
7,400.
Nope, just 74.
Oh, so okay. So you okay? Okay. So the average, if you guys average it all out, you guys have hundreds of gold, not thousands.
We never.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever distributed the gold that we got from the mini boss that we killed.
I think I just
Yeah, we
put
did.
everything in party loot
Yeah.
because I figured. I mean, myself and Toto would figure that like the money we get is to figure out how to help us do whatever the hell we need to do, more than like Toto doesn't care about money himself. In as much as if he can get better weapons to kill things with, he'll do that, but he's not super concerned.
Femrak would be.
I do have the bag of holding, though.
I haven't gotten like anything recently. I think everyone else got all the new items.
Yeah, I
Guess
think
nothing was like good for me.
I've got that scimitar. I got that +1, that magic scimitar. And I think I had a silver short sword, but I don't see it anymore. Did I give that to someone else? Or did I just dump it in the party loot?
I don't know. I know that the only thing I've gotten so far in this campaign is chain shirt.
I'm gonna change the sword name in party loot to short sword silvered. So it's obvious.
So if we can find a place to purchase some stuff, that'd be great. But going back to the tome, it did say it talks about a sword, the cursed sword that Sergei brought, and that he fears and hates it as much as the sun. That may be a weakness.
Is that in here? I found out. Ah. Yes, the cursed sword. There it is. In our tarot reading, didn't somebody... Where are my notes? Who got the one of
Madame
swords?
Ava Madame Ava is pinned.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go because I've got my notes all over the place and I'm trying to consolidate them. Because somebody drew the one of swords. Or did we all draw that? No, that was for everybody. So there's...
I think it was just part of the general ones.
Yeah, because the general ones we got were there was the Conjurer, which tells of a weapon of vengeance. I see a dead village drowned by a river ruled by one who has brought great evil into the world.
This one. This card tells of a powerful force for hope and protection, a holy symbol of great hope, a one of swords, avenger. The treasure lies in a dragon's house in hands once cleaned and now corrupted. Maybe not that one, actually.
Well, so we've got the Charlatan, the Avenger, the Tempter, and the Conjurer. So we've got what? A weapon, knowledge of the ancients, a lonely mill on a precipice. I think we found... I'll tap the book. I think this is the Charlatan. But we still need to find the weapon, which is the Conjurer, the Avenger,
Dead village,
and the Tempter. I hear a wedding bell or perhaps a death knell. It calls thee to a mountainside abbey, wherein you will find a woman who is more than the sum of her parts.
Arena, I'm assuming you guys are sharing.
Yeah.
I've shared all this with. She doesn't recognize anything, but perks up at the mention of Abbey and says, well, the only Abbey that I know of around here is the village of Kreesk. And she points it out on the map as being way over here to the west. She mentions that it's known as a sort of a probably one of the safest places, but also not a place that you can just enter at will in the land of Barovia. And she mentions that it's an ancient abbey from the time of when the devil was originally in this land.
So we need to... So that's the Tempter? So we still have to find the Conjurer and the Avenger. A weapon of vengeance and a holy symbol of great hope. Does a river drown, or a village drowned by a river make any sense to you, Arena?
I mean, there's not too many other named towns from what I know of. I don't know of any drowned towns. I mean, there's other places. There's oh, she's like, I don't know. Not that I've heard of. I mean, I'm pretty well versed, being from my lineage. Maybe someone from here knows, but it's not something that was in the common day-to-day speech of my father, at least. The Abbey was just, it was, always considered a place that if you had to escape to go to, but I'm not sure what Madame Ava means by the great evil or a drowned village. I'm sorry. But she's like, the Sword of Sunlight does seem to be the same one that the devil was mentioning that his brother bought. He's like, this is fascinating. She's just like so into this stuff because she's always lived it but never been at the forefront of like figuring this out. So she's just like enthralled by the concept and stuff, and she's reading through all this like as intently as she can.
Sounds like we're gonna have to ask around.
Maybe we could see if those brothers are here, the Kurskin brothers. If they do a lot of the werewolf hunting, they're probably familiar with some of the lore of this area and maybe can point us in the right direction.
Ask about it. I'm gonna go to the bar and approach the barkeep.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. How was the wine? Oh,
I
wait.
did not
You
have
weren't
any.
drinking it. That's right. Well, okay. No offense, but yeah, how can I help you?
You said you were running low on the wine. Is that a normal thing around here?
Sorry, I made a candy real quick. Give me 10 seconds.
Let me ask 10 more questions. How was your day? How was the weather?
Have you ever ridden a bike? Oh man, where did my meme for this go? God damn it.
She goes, yes, you did hear that. A bit of a mental slip-up, if you will. Not something that I meant to actually say out loud. I'm happy that a regular didn't hear it, and her voice kind of goes down. She's like, we're late on a shipment, and it comes from the only winery in this area. But if everyone else finds out that we're running low, and that shipment has been delayed, we could be in some serious trouble. And I just fear for whatever happened to the wizard, if he's not sending out his wine like he usually is. She's clearly trying to whisper this as much as possible. She goes, I don't know if you're the guys are the mercenary type, but there's definitely some money in this if you wanted to help out the town. But
How much?
well, it depends on what you find, I guess. But if you're looking for a place to stay, I could probably include quite a bit of room and board. And if it's wine the others seek or coin, I'm sure we could find something. I guess it just depends on what exactly is going on.
I can talk to the party and see what they want. Are there any other rumors around here that might be of interest to mercenaries?
She laughs. She goes, wow, yes. Where would you like to start? Rumors of the Baron being crazy, or Lady Watcher being just as crazy, rumors of impending doom, rumors of evil in the church, or um, problems in the outskirts of town, or the lake is haunted, or there's a sea monster there, or the uh, the uh, the camp of Vasanti outside is plotting our overthrow. And yes, there's plenty of rumors here. I don't mean to make fun of you. It's just a funny thing to ask. It's yes, there are quite a few. It just depends on who you ask. Most of them, if you ask me, are probably full of it. Although the politics of the town you currently find yourself are deeper than you would first expect. I'll tell you that to be certain. And if it is gold you're looking for the recovery of the items I spoke about, I don't know what your running rate is. What would you think is a fair amount for a job such as that? What is your going rate? We don't hire mercenary types often.
I'll point at Toto and kind of wave him over.
Yeah.
Or just discuss it amongst yourselves. I can speak to my husband as well, but we find ourselves in a unique situation. We are consistently, funded, or we are consistently topped off, if you will, with wine, and it has stopped for the first time in my lifetime. So we're trying to do as much as we can to get that back, but really just hoping that it's a supply chain issue, if you will, and not something worse.
Oh man, did a barge get stuck in the river?
She goes, "Oh, you've been to Lake Zarovich." The American crews only want to work 12 hours. And
The
that's all we
Eversteady
can
got stuck on a sand shoal.
do. The old Suez of Barovia.
The suit. Okay, sorry.
The lake to the north. You said it was haunted, or there's some kind of monster. Do you know the history of that lake?
Well, the history goes back a hell of a lot further than all of the stories and rumors you'll hear now. I don't know the actual history. There's a bookstore in town that may have some histories, but from what I've heard from its owner, I've only seen a handful of times. His name is Yevon. Actually, no. His name is Yanvich. From what he tells me, the Baron has been actively snatching up any books of real value over the decades he's been in charge, and left very little for the citizens, if you will, here to partake of. Not sure if he's trying to rewrite history or just as an avid book lover, but you can take that as you'd like. And you get a hint now after multiple comments that she may not be the biggest fan of the Baron in this establishment. So she's speaking rather freely, if you will, even though she's in a, I guess, a public place.
All right. Well, thank you for the information. Where is the bookstore located?
She points it out. I'm AFK for 1 second, but I can tell you where it's at.
Okay. I'll tell her thank you for the information, and I will talk with the party and see if we can help out with the shipping problem. And I will return to the party and tell them what I've learned. and ask them if they are willing to help out the bar owner here for a price.
Yeah, what do you think we should charge for that?
Gold currency is still very new to me, so I'm not exactly the best person to ask here. Toto, you're a human here. You seem to spend a lot of time with humans. What's the going rate for mercenaries?
I usually just ask for room and food when I help people out. If they offer me money, I take it, but I'm not really motivated by gold. Sorry, I'm not probably a typical human for you to observe in this case.
Well, it just so happens I used to be a mercenary. And for asset recovery, we typically charged about 30% of the value of the item that we were recovering. So if we can get an estimate on how much the wine is worth to them, 30 to 40% I think is a fair finder's fee, considering it's the only provider of wine as well.
If we ask for room and board, should we reduce the price?
No. Because what are they going to do? What are their options?
Feels probably not good to take advantage of them when we just met them.
We're not taking advantage. We're simply offering our help.
It's true.
They can, if our prices aren't suitable, they can certainly disturb the regulars and ask them, but it doesn't seem like they wanted them to know, right?
Fair. What do you guys think? You guys okay with this?
I'll shrug.
Me?
I'll defer to our resident mercenary.
And Royce?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Alright. I'll go back to the barkeep.
She goes, ready for some food? Maybe not you. Sorry, I didn't realize what you were earlier, but maybe for the rest of the table? Or did you have a chance to think over our possible recovery mission, if you will?
Yeah, we've talked. Our regular mercenary says 30% of the value of the items we return, and possibly room and board if that's available as well, would be ideal.
You said 30%. Sorry, I'm reading something.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to not mention this, but we don't actually pay for the wine that we receive. It is given to us. There's no way that we could fund it at a price because we sell it for so cheap. It basically just allows us to keep our doors open. If there's ever a good soul or a good person really living in this area, it's the Wizard of Wine, as he's known, as for as long as I can remember, his family or he himself, I don't really even know how old he is, he's provided the wine at no cost to the places that he services with his 3 unique wines that he produces. One has been out of production for a year or so now, which has been an issue, but we've never pressed it. But the other 2 come in, while they're the lesser of the 2, they're still a beautiful drink, to say the least. So I have no problem offering room and board for maybe a week. And then if it's just gold you seek as well, I would say maybe 500 gold for the task of delivering it. I think is fair, and that can be maybe negotiated if there's additional issues or if there's additional outcomes. But the main thing is that we get that flow going again. We've got a lot of people that need their one escape, if you will, from a hard day's life. So
Yep, I'll talk with the group. I will relay the information to the group that 30% of pretty much no profits is still 0%. $0. So 500 gold for the task and a week's room and board. Yes or no?
I'm fine with it.
Sterling? Or, sorry,
Yep.
Royce?
Works for me.
Did you ask why this Wizard of Wine provides wine to a tavern for free? For
Sounds like we may
decades?
have to ask them ourselves.
That seems a little odd within itself.
Maybe they can provide us with wine, and we could sell it. Oh,
I mean,
yeah or nay?
we
Yes.
Then I'll relay that we will investigate.
and Vemrak, as he goes over, I'll say, if we find this one and the situation changes, we will have the product.
This is true.
Well, I'll let the barkeep know that we will accept the quest, and we'll need to know where we need to go, and likely go tomorrow after we've all had some rest to our travels.
she goes, "Oh gosh, you guys look tired. Please, I mean, don't feel like you must leave tomorrow. If you've just entered town today, there's plenty to see and do." But she marks on your map where it's at. She marks this location here. She's like, "It's not typically an easy journey, as you'd expect. If you've gotten this far, you know that there's always something on the road. But just as you've accepted the quest, I trust you enough, considering we've had no patrons the last day or two. So if you'd like to sleep on us tonight, you can take any combination of the rooms upstairs that you need and feel most comfortable with. Feel free to ask if you have any further questions. But just be safe on the road. You basically head west until you hit the second bridge, and then when you hit the second bridge, you take the road to the south from there, and you'll run into it. You can't miss it at that point. You'll see the vineyards and things, I hope. So she kind of calls out to the tables, like, "Food for the table?"
Yes.
Yes, please.
Then she brings out food for the table as well.
More wine.
Absolutely. And she brings over like one of the larger glasses that she has, Femrak. Kind of puts it down in front of you and just kind of smiles and is like, "I appreciate your mercenary work. Might have a working relationship going forward. You never know."
I'll just take the bottle out of her hand.
There's no bottles. It's all the big ass barrels in the back, which I'm sure you could carry.
Okay.
But she brings over like a much larger glass, if you will, one that's almost seems like it's made for like an orc or like a different
A comically large goblet.
yeah, basically like a different race. So you know what, I'll say that she has like a traditional orc like, I don't know what we call it, like a styre or something like that you guys drink out of. And yeah, basically she brings it over and she goes, "Here, this might make you feel more at home," which we're all about here at the Blue Water Inn. And you look at it, and while it may be like a bit of a knockoff or like a party, kind of joke thing, like you sense that she's trying to be sincere with the with the glass type. So you can take that as you wish. But Arena is going to get up. She's yawning. She's physically exhausted. She's like, I'm gonna head down to the church. I really appreciate all of you. I have no idea where my life goes from here, but I just really want to thank you guys for everything that you've done. I could not have made the journey from here, and to be honest, I don't think I'll go along to the next adventure. I'm not cut out like you guys are. If you really need me, please come find me at the church, or if I'm not there, I'll look for a place to stay or just find some work, as I'd like to kind of get back to being on my own and not needing to rely on others as much as I've appreciated it. If you find yourself leaving town for a long period of time, please come and find me. I hope to have a place of my own in the next, couple days at most, but I do appreciate everything. And if you have any questions about things you find or lore, you can always ask me as well. She kind of like looks at the floor as if she wants to try and reward you guys with something, but looks up and just says, you guys know that all I have now is what I've carried here. So I hope that is enough to satisfy you guys, at least for now. Maybe there's a chance we can go back to my home and see what's become of it, and possibly get more things of value there. But for now, I'll be honest with you, I just need a couple days, if not a week, of just nothing to reset myself. So she kind of waits for any responses or any kind of wait ups, and then if not, she'll head out the door.
Do you think you're safe to head out to the church after everything in Barovia? Are you good on your own?
I think so. I mean, you guys saw the number of guards around here, and I'm not trying to brag, but my last name does hold some weight in this area overall. So I think at the very least I can be respected enough to, the Baron that's here should know of my family. It's the other town, just down from him. I've never met him before. My father spoke ill of people very rarely, just because he knew there was always someone else listening. But I got the idea that he wasn't a huge fan, but there's very few just good people in this world that we live in. So I'm confident I can make it to the church, and for your guys' sake, I'll keep my eyes open and scout out if I find a place to stay or find some other information. So assuming you guys will be staying here, it should be easy to find you.
Good luck on your journey.
Yes. Yeah, we'll speak soon, I'm sure. I just, as you can imagine, would just like to just get a good reset, a good sleep, if nothing else. So, and as she kind of says that, she heads out and to the light drizzle of rain, and it's getting a little darker as its time is passing, but she leaves, and you guys know where the church is at, so if you need to go and try and find her, you're pretty confident you can do so.
Sounds good. It's midnight now for Grim. Are you
I was gonna say,
call it?
yeah, it's a good. I just wanted to for next session. I think we probably want to crash and then probably check out. Oh, what was that place? The Them Dolls Armaments and the bookstore.
My mic does this thing where it just stops working. So I heard next session you guys want to crash, visit the bookstore and armaments.
And then maybe head out after the wine shipment, unless something crazy happens.
Just I want you guys to feel like this town is really open. Like, feel free to just be like, I want to wander in this direction. And I have a map full of random shit. So talk to people if you want to find a job, or try and
Can't make me
find a place to live, or find a hobby, or just ask about stuff. Try and really make it, or try and really think around
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up the chainmail and take up basket weaving and pottery. just really just give up on this whole
I'm
thing.
fine. Like, I'll do it. Like,
If there's good and evil inside me, I guess I'm just gonna go with the crafting.
there you go. So,
So
I
well
won't guarantee
supported.
there's money in it, but you never know who you'll meet. So, there are a lot of little lines that leave this town in terms of story and things to do. So, and yeah, so the armaments place is already ready to go. I've got a storefront for that. I didn't do the bookstore because I figured you guys wouldn't go there first. So I got about half the stores done already. So I'll get the rest of them done as well. Just so you guys know, I'll assume you guys can learn this easily just being in town. So there's the blacksmith, leather worker, there's an apothecary.
Your mic died again.
I love this mic so much. There's a general store, there's a bookstore, there's a Fletcher and a Bower, there's an herbalist, and there is a tailor shop. I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if I'll do the tailor shop. It didn't really sound.
How am I supposed to make my 24 slot bags if we don't have a tailor?
Yeah, figure that out somewhere else. I don't think I'll do the tailor. Then there's the general. There's the stockyard, which you guys passed upon entering, which kind of seems like a general store area. And then there was a Valaki camp or a Vasanti camp mentioned as well. You guys know that they typically have wares and stuff. So, cool. Yeah, I would say read up on the rules and stuff, and you guys know that the rules for the town, and you guys know that the festival is kind of on its way. But yeah, I don't feel like you have to do a bunch of stuff in one day or jump around if there's not pressing issues or you just can't kind of explore. So there's a lot of potential here for sure. Cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I have a good night.
Take care. Thanks, everyone.
You guys.
Bye.
Yep. Later.